Yair, Mati, there was just a shooting attack, a terror attack in Jerusalem, in the entrance to the city. 15 people got hurted. A terrorist shot on a bus in the entrance. They were eliminated in the end, the two terrorists. Like 20 minutes ago.
Where?
Tzomet Ramot, in the entrance.
Entrance to Jerusalem.
Yeah. They shot on a bus.
And they were eliminated, you said? 15 hurt?
15 hurt, 6 is in a bad condition.
Oh, wow, we can see the bullets on the bus.
So this is not staged. We're literally here training, talking about the fact that the only way to stop terrorists is to have highly trained people with guns.
Yeah.
And what Tomer is telling us right now is exactly that.
Yeah, we don't know the details already of who terminated the terrorists, but I mean, I would bet that more than 50% of chance that those that intercepted the terrorists were civilians with pistols.
It always is.
Israel is still at war, and for many of us, danger is not far away. It can be a bus stop, a mall entrance, a cafe, or any place that you can imagine. Last month, at Gush Etzion, 2 terrorists attacked next to the Rami Levy supermarket. A young Israeli guard was killed. The attack ended very fast because a light civilian and an IDF soldier ran towards the gunfire and stopped the killers. This is the heart of today's story. In Israel, a civilian with a gun is not a slogan. It's a trained person, checked by the state, usually ex-IDF or a reservist who keeps up his skills at the range. In many places, especially in Judea and Samaria, these people are the first on scene until police or the army shows up. We came to Caliber 3 to show this reality. The address and the directions to get here are in this video's description. So guys, here, safety is strict. Training is very serious, and the goal is simple. If terror shows up, a trained citizen can protect life in those first seconds. Now, let me speak to you for just a moment. Many of you ask, what is daily life like in Israel right now? It means mothers pushing strollers while scanning left and right. It means teenagers checking who stands near the door in a bus. It means store guards who are not just checking bags, they are trained responders. It means civilians who carry legally and train regularly, because here, seconds decide lives. In Tel Aviv, earlier this year, an armed passerby shot a stabber and ended the attack. These are not movie moments. This is our normal life here. Today, we will train with our own team of TBN Israel, our technicians, our camera guy, our editor, anyone on our staff who legally carries. We will show real drills, safety, draw, control pairs, malfunction, scan, reholster. This is what responsible citizens in Israel do. Before we step onto the line, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Help us get this truth out that trained citizens save lives. The more people who know the reality here, the safer Israel is.
The Middle East is complicated. Evil thrives here and wears many faces.
But in the middle of it all is Israel, fighting terrorist regimes that glorify death.
Yet somehow, we're called the aggressor.
Because evil has hijacked the narrative and twisted the truth.
When the truth dies, freedom dies with it.
So guys, if you want to help us share the truth, donate now, stand with Israel, stand with the truth.
In Israel, a gun is not an identity. It is responsibility under law and training. The goal is not to be a hero. The goal is to buy time, the seconds that are needed to stop the terrorists until the police and other law enforcement arrives. And believe me, it works. Through my entire lifetime, many attacks have taken place in which the first 5-10 seconds of the attack, an armed and highly trained civilian is the one that stops the terrorist. And that's our key takeaway from this entire day. It isn't about just having a gun. It's not having bullets. It's not about being able to fire freely. It's about being highly trained, a highly trained and automatic machine that can respond to terrorism. People love saying that it's about a good guy with a gun versus a bad guy with a gun. Well, let me tell you, that is an incomplete sentence. It's about a good guy with highly trained capabilities with a gun against the bad guy with a gun and hopefully without a gun. And that's the reality on the ground in Israel. Countless terrorist attacks in this country have been thwarted by civilians who, in a matter of seconds, snap into action. In fact, this is one of the only countries in the world that every time you hear gunfire, what do you see? You see the population run towards the gunfire and not away from the gunfire. You see people pulling out their guns or a chair or whatever weapon they can find and go after the terrorist. And that is why most terrorist attacks in this country end within a matter of just a few seconds. And we have powerful military, we have powerful police, we have good intel, but in the end, when there's a massive population that wants to carry out terrorist attacks, you still need to make sure that at the end of the line, there's a guy who knows how to raise his shirt and pull out a weapon and stop the terrorists.
So, this part is the dry part, it's called, because in the first part, we are learning how to dismantle the weapon, making sure we know how to clean it, and practicing getting into the position without bullets inside. Okay, this is the most important part of this whole training, right, Yaakov? So you see, and that's why we have this little yellow thing in the gun.
We've just been training for, what, several hours on dry firing.
Yeah.
And we just started firing, just trying to get a feel of the guns. And you can see how small a change makes a huge difference on the target. It's these little things. Move your hand position. Do this. Reset this way.
Squeeze.
Trigger work. It's these small things that don't make a difference on a rifle, but when you work with a handgun, they make an amazing difference. This is why we're here.
Exactly. I learned today that it's important to open both eyes when you shoot so that you can see the wider area, so that you don't accidentally, because you close one eye, miss a person that is not involved and then shoot him. You can see that in Israel, the terrorist attacks end within a matter of a few minutes, sometimes a few seconds. You don't have much news about the terrorists are still roaming free in the center of Jerusalem. It doesn't happen because the people automatically intervene and terminate the threat. Either the civilians or the IDF or the police or the security forces that are at the scene. That's the power when you have people that know how to use their firearms.
People don't understand, even if it's quiet over here for a bit sometimes, when there is no missiles and stuff, there is still terror attacks, like daily or weekly.
As we're talking about this, I'm reminded, we don't know who stopped this terrorist attack that just took place. People don't understand how, and again, these attacks don't happen often in the way they used to. But when I was a teenager, in 1 week, 2 members of my next-door neighbors were involved in stopping a terrorist attack. One of them was a young girl who was a year younger than me, I think she was 16 at the time, stood next to a guy who opened fire downtown Jerusalem. This is 20 years ago. And it was stopped by civilians. And literally multiple days later, her older brother, that was a year older than me, I think he was 18 or 19 at the time, lied down on top of a suicide bomber on a bus and held his arms so he couldn't pull the dead man's trigger. And people need to understand, like, how small the difference is between a dozen dead in a terrorist attack, which, by the way, happens in many other countries around the world. And in Israel, these terrorist attacks rarely go beyond 60 to 90 seconds.
A war zone in the Gaza Strip being under fire by Hamas terrorists. You don't have time to sit and drink your coffee and wake up in the morning and get ready for the day and prepare. So sometimes I woke up at 2 in the morning after an hour and a half of sleep, and you need to wake up immediately and do your job and do it to perfection or people die.
You literally have your life on the line. You don't know what corner you turn and somebody's got a gun pointed at you.
So in order to wake up, I just took a Vinia pill And I really felt the energy levels go up faster. The clarity of mind that doesn't usually happen immediately when you wake up in the morning.
Right.
And I don't remember taking much stuff with me into the Gaza Strip. I had my sleeping bag, a flashlight, and the Vinia bottle. So that's what I had with me.
You're a young person. You're very healthy, but you still think that Vinia was helpful to get you to even a higher level of performance?
It's helping me to exceed my normal abilities. So let's say, I'm at 100%, and that puts me at 120. With raising 3 kids, you need to be sharp and make the right decisions.
Raising 3 kids may be equal to combat.
A lot harder, a lot harder. Listen, I'm still taking Vinia every day because I want to be there with my kids when they grow old. I want to be able to dance at their wedding and carry my kids and my grandkids for years to come. And this is the time to start, when you're young. No chance he's doing better than me.
Slowly, 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 and I'll show you in a second, you can see the hits on the target go up from the bottom all the way to the center. Just underneath, about a couple inches underneath the center. And he worked with me time and time again on these changes in the way I pulled the trigger, the little change in the way I was doing it. And suddenly the all hit exactly in the center of the target. Let's talk numbers and rules, clear and simple. How many people have a license? Well, since October 7th, over 400,000 Israelis have made requests for licenses, and over 217,000 have already received approval. Many become and receive a full license shortly after their training and government checks. Now, let's talk about training and renewals. The government ministry extended refresher and renewal timelines this summer so people don't lose status during the war. Again, many of us have been in reserves throughout this war. And the goal is safety and continuity, not bureaucracy. And where you live, of course, in Israel matters. High-risk cities get wider access to handguns. In July 2025, Ashkelon, which is a coastal city, joined the eligibility list. And more families there can apply, train, and carry legally. This was done in response to the October 7th attacks that also targeted that city. Many cities create community rapid response units. In northern Israel, 97 community squads were newly equipped with about 9,000 standard rifles. These are organized teams that train with local security, not vigilantes. I myself, by the way, am part of such a unit that lives in the Judean hills, and we train regularly. In fact, I actually trained 2 days ago with the first responder team from my very unit. After a lawful stop, police guidance in recent years moved away from automatic weapon seizure when a licensed civilian lawfully neutralizes a terrorist. Investigations still take place, but the default is not take the gun, but rather allow the civilian to carry it, again, to protect himself and others. This encourages fast, lawful action when lives are at risk, as they are here in this country, and especially in recent years. Another interesting thing are the women that now carry weapons too. Since the war, many more women are applying and training, and you'll see women on the firing line today in this very facility. This is part of Israel's real first response picture.
You just saw the drills behind the headline. This is the point. In Israel, trained citizens are not looking for a fight. They are preparing to end one, fast. When it comes to a bus stop, a store entrance, or a school gate, they are ready. If this helped you understand life here in Israel, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And share this video with someone who thinks that this is a debate on slogans. It's not. It is about seconds and about training. And the Caliber 3 location is in the description. So guys, next time you're in Israel, make sure to come here and train with us.
As we walk out of a very long day of training here in Caliber 3 in Gush Etzion, one, I really appreciate the guys here and the level and depth of training. Two, it's just a reminder of how much there's a need to maintain the technical skill, the muscle memory, and really the know-how of the skill of carrying a weapon in an effective way. And the fact that there was a terrorist attack today that necessitated exactly that skill set is just a very, very grim reminder of how important, how timely, and how necessary this is in this country.
Yeah, listen, I just, every time I go and practice, I realize I need to practice more. And I feel like I don't know enough on how to operate the pistols. Because you have maybe a split of a second to make a decision between an enemy or a civilian, or you need to make sure that you don't miss, because if you miss, you might hit somebody behind the terrorist. And that's like a really, really scary decision. And I want to be ready.
Okay, and that just emphasizes the need to really, as a society, both train to the value that the military creates and the fact that so many people here are, I mean, it's negative to say, but battle-hardened by the reality we live in.
Especially in the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Well, Mati, looking forward to do this again.
It's been good enough. It's been a day.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.